All right, so this is a digital toolbox presentation. My name is Colleen Lynch. I'm the I Squared librarian. So I work with business databases, and this one is provided, this is Learn Mergent Intellect, provided to us with funding help from New Haven Innovation Collaborative and CT Next. And this is our January monthly featured database. So what is Learn Mergent Intellect? Let's find out. Gotta scroll. So if you don't know what Learn Mergent Intellect is, it is an expansive directory database, including more than 100 million private US, Canadian, and global businesses, more than 6,000 US public companies, and over 200 million residents and local businesses with previous addresses, allowing for reverse telephone lookups, which is, we'll go into why all these things are fantastic for your business. It has job search and executive search capabilities and multifaceted advanced search functionality. It also includes census data by zip code. So you can go into demographics, you can go into lots of different things. So this is a big one. So who is Mergent Intellect for? We've got businesses, entrepreneurs, and nonprofits, but it's especially if you're looking for client leads, industry research, market research, company financial information, executive information, resident mailing contacts, global and US business competitors, private and public company data, and much more. But these are the ones we wanted to outline and the ones we'll go over. Currently, we're offering remote access with Mergent Intellect. So to access remotely, we're going to go to nhfpl.org, visit the Collections tab, then Electronic Resources. And I'll show you how to do this later. You're going to select Business, Jobs, and Nonprofit, then click the logo. And the public password is, the username is Haven and the password is public. So until the library reopens fully, this is how you can access it from home. And you don't need a library card. You just need to go through our website. So this is the main page you're going to see when you log in. It has 4 search categories. It's company, executive, industry, and new US business. So you need to know sort of which one you're going to decide to look in, what you're sort of looking for. We'll do an example search at the end of this. This is just a run through of the way the site looks and where you're going to find the information you're looking for. Apologize. If you scroll down the page, you'll also see this page. So it goes into the different features of the website if you don't know where to start with your search. It has advanced search, so it lets you refine your search in all these different ways. We'll go into that. You can drill down your search to get as granular as you may need. And the search function and the limitation options are the keywords, all that kind of stuff are very, very detailed. So if you know exactly what you're looking for, but you don't know how to find it, and your searches are coming back more general, you would go into advanced search here. The Learning Center is going to be sort of what I'm doing and taking you through, but it's provided by Mergent Intellect. So they have how-to guides, the best videos to show you how to get the most out of this system than you might know. So it's even more helpful than I'm going to be today, and I think you should check it out. Residential search. So there's going to be immediate access here, which is sort of unique to this database, to contact information for over 210 million US consumers. So not just their businesses, but consumers who you might want to send out a newsletter to, you might want to profile, you might want to sort of get in contact with them. There are different things with this tool. You can get name, address, previous address, that kind of stuff. Demographics kind of follows from that. It has census data all gathered here, so you don't have to do your research. You can just do it through here. It has zip code search functionality. You can search by MSA or industry, and content includes income per household, average house value, population breakdown, and so much more. And we can go into that too. But we are going to search or go through and spotlight some of these, and demographics has much more than we're going to be able to cover. And consumer data is the last one. So you get data on individuals' lifestyles, hobbies, and purchasing habits. That might seem kind of strange and small of a function. It might seem like this database does a lot more than this. But consumer data, I find one of the most valuable tools for this if you're a business and you're looking to highlight your ideal customer and you're looking to locate people through their data. You can download it lists of people that are interested in exactly your business and what your business provides. So super helpful. And you can't really find that information elsewhere if you crowdsource it and you have to research yourself. So we're going into advanced search first. This is the page that it looks like when you click advanced search. You can download information and search information limited by different things. You have company limitations, so you can include US companies, you can exclude inactive companies, which is one I always suggest. You can include Canadian companies, international companies, the US companies. These searches are so huge that if you really are based in the US, I would suggest starting with US companies, unless you're looking for global business completely. And then obviously you would select include international companies. So then you choose your criteria. So you can do specific company search for their financial information, their industry information, their size, executive criteria, all these little details. You can search literally by company name if you already know the company you're looking for, or if you're looking for their former name. It's a company that has rebranded. It's a company you knew their former name. You're not sure what their deal is now. You can do location type, so their branches if you're looking for a specific branch, or their headquarters if you're looking for their headquarters. And you can do a lot more that we can go into, but you can decide, okay, I want companies only that if I'm looking for more than one company, I want companies that own or rent. I want minority only owned companies, women owned companies. I want public companies versus private companies. You can do geo mapping. You can do the rankings. We want 5-star companies. We want companies that make a certain amount of money over a certain time period, these different things. You can look by phone, etc. You can go into location. So you can say Connecticut only companies. You can say New Haven only companies. You can get really granular with that. You can say tri-state area companies. You can select more than one location. You can do the industry. That's where you come into NAICS codes, where if you are looking for specifically grocery stores that sell organic types of foods, instead of just grocery stores, or instead of just stores with food products, etc., you can get into the specific NAICS codes, NAIC, and search them there, or the SIC codes, SIC, that define what industry your business is in. You can go into size, so you can say we want ones with employees over 50,000 employees. We want companies really big, or we want local companies that are only 100 and less employees, that kind of thing. You can find financial information. This is a really big one. You can find a lot here. We can go into that. And then you can search by keyword. Sort of, you want companies that deal with your retail companies. You're doing a retail company search for your competitors, and you want companies that specifically sell sneakers instead of just retail shoes, apparel, accessories. You can just search sneaker here with keyword and it'll come up with certain things. Now, the next section is residential search. It's a people search function. So you can search by name, you can search by last name, street address, city, state code, zip code. You're going to need some of these to be able to come up with a person. You can search business. So you can search the name of a business, click the search option with different criteria. You can search a phone number, so you can do reverse telephone lookups here, which is fantastic. It's not something you might think Mergent Intellect would offer, but it does. So if you're being reached out to by someone and you don't know who they are and you keep finding this number, you can look up and see if it's a certain business, what business it is a certain person, what person it is. And you can do a neighbor search, which is actually really cool. You can see people that are connected to the person you looked at, people that are connected by location, so people that are neighbors of these people, quote unquote. You can see family members of these people. You can see just other names associated with this person. So if you're looking for a certain contact, but you can't get in contact with them, or you're looking for a certain customer, you can't get in contact with them, they can show you other people related to this customer's name. Consumer data would be the next one that we were talking about. So this is the one I wanted to highlight because it is so powerful. You can do an advanced search or a quick search. I always really like the advanced search because there's so many more options than you really realize. It goes into lifestyle. So you can do general, you can do their name, phone, area code. You can look up the actual consumer, or all consumers in this area code, or etc. You can do locations. So map based is really helpful because you can zero in on where the headquarters you're looking for is, or where the branch you're looking for is for a certain business, if that's what you're doing, and you can see all the people surrounding that business. So if you're looking into competition or the types of people that are surrounding your location, that's a good way to do it. You can go into housing. You can go into details as granular as home market value. So you can look for people that are making a certain amount of money in this lifestyle that can afford a certain amount of expenditures with their money based on their house data. Or you can look for, you know, lifestyle, which is actually really exciting. That can get into different things like if this person likes to work out, if this person likes horses, if this person spends a lot of their money on purses. Like you can get pretty granular on this, and it's pretty exciting. And then consumer detail, that comes up with a little bit more details, sort of like the person, if they're a woman over 40, or if they're advanced education, like just different demographic data. It goes into consumer data. So you can look through demographic data, or you can go specifically into consumer data and go through the lifestyle choices of this person. And that is something I don't think a lot of other databases offer in this specific level of detail. So when you're doing a search, like an example search, at the bottom of the page, it'll show you the results company found, and then your details. So we had said exclude inactive companies from results. We had said include US companies. So those two show up there. And then I did an example search. So I said women owned, that comes up under company. Location, I said North America, USA, just New York. And the NAICS code, I had picked a random NAICS code, so 442. You will have all this information down here, but the problem that I put here is you have to click add to criteria. So you can't just select these things on the page that we showed before. When you are going in your advanced search, you are clicking add to criteria at the bottom of the section of what you search, so that it comes up here at the bottom. And then you click your search to update it. So example search results. This is the one that I was looking at. This is what the page looks like. It comes right up into the visual data and goes into filter your results. So it's trying to get you to sort of see what you're getting and then filter from there. So we're in records found. Right at the bottom it says 377. If you scroll down, that's where all the records will show up one by one. It'll say all here, results per page, all that kind of stuff. So right here, we're seeing sales first. We're seeing that less than 1 million sales in the New York women-owned 442 category of NAICS. In the US, excluding X companies, etc. This is what they came up with. So the sales, a lot of that is less than 1 million. So 308 make less than 1 million a year. You have this section, less than 5 million, this section, less than 10 million, etc. Obviously, it goes down from there. So you can filter from here and cut into just that blue part or just that black part and go from there. Next, well, actually, let's just go over it this way. Employee type. So you can say, local employees, branch employees. You can get into employee type details there. You can go into ownership type, whether they rent or own, whether they own the whole company, whether they own just the franchise, etc. You can go into location. So if a company has multiple locations, you can select which one here. You can go into country, region, and industry. So industry, it'll just show they're all in the same industry. So this whole chart visually will be the same color. Country, region, we said US, so it will all be US. Location, we said New York, it would all be New York. Ownership type, it might come into, okay, half of these 377 are private US owned businesses, half of them are rented businesses, etc. And sort of you can narrow from there or just get that data. So next, I'll show you when you scroll down. Also, actually, at this bar, You can make it larger if this is too small for you to read. You can find it in different formats. You can download it and print it from here, and you can make a copy of this. So that's where you find all of that. So records found, this is how it comes up. You get the company name, the location. The location for this one is going to be all the same, but it's going to show you company name, and you can organize this in a certain way. So clearly this is not alphabetical, but you can click company name and make it go in an alphabetical order. You can click location type and have headquarters first, then single location second. You can do it by sales. It looks like this one is about, yeah, this one is organized by sales. So the one that makes the most sales is at the top, and then it goes down from there. You can start with the least amount and go down from there. SIC codes are different from NAICS codes. So you only picked the 445 SIC code. This one will go into the different granular levels of other codes that are involved in that SIC code. So if it was women-owned businesses, minority-owned businesses, specifically your search, your specific search, but the only NAICS code was 442, 5712-0000 versus 5712-9904, that might get into the types of retail you're doing. So if you said accessories was 442, this would get into, okay, shoes, purses, earrings, like that kind of stuff. The URL for these businesses is right here. You go into company name if you want more information on the company. There's profiles. The URL is just if you want to directly get there. And this is the phone number they list, but I would be careful about choosing that phone number because a lot of times that can just be the general info phone number. And you might want to do an executive search to find a clearer phone number or one to get you to a specific person or a different department. Then when you download export, this is what it looks like in your Excel. You're going to get a lot of information. So you get all that information organized the way you want to organize it, and you can do short view result, or you can download a longer view result and it'll go into different details that you might want. I would always say export it as a short result. You're just going to get all the information in one place and you can limit from here. So if you only want the zip code of this, you can organize, delete what you don't want, that kind of thing. So this happens when you click on a company. It's an example company listing. We clicked on ABC Home, which was the first one with the most sales. Here, it'll show you the logo. It'll show you the map. You can geolocate. You can find other places that it's at. You can find directions on how to get there. You basically find ABC Home Furnishings, Inc. This one comes with a number. It'll tell you the headquarters location. And then you go into company details. So this is just the profile, and it gives you every bit of information they have in this database on this company. So you can also find this if you looked for the company specifically, but this is when you click on company details. You get the synopsis, you get surrounding companies, so that would be location companies, and you get a competitors list. Competitors list is one I would really point out because a lot of times people come on Mergent Intellect to look at competitors for their business, so you can bring up your business and see what they think your competitors are, or you can bring up your biggest competitor and see who their competitors are. So this is a lot of information you're going to gather on like how many sales they do versus how many sales you do, or what your goals are going to be if you want to be like this company, that kind of thing. You can go into financial details. That is very detailed. Like I said before, you get tax returns, you get their sales, you get details that are broken up financially on sort of everything that's public information, and some of it is private information. So it's not just going to be, it just is convenient to bring it all there instead of having to do these searches. Industry details, I mean, you've already located the industry you're looking for. Executive details might be more helpful because it'll go into who the person is that's running this company. It's sort of a competitor search, but also if you're looking to get in contact with this person, that's where that would be. Family tree is interesting. Sometimes family-owned companies, this is a good one because it'll show this person's family is all involved in all their information. It's almost like that neighbors search. So family tree can also include the people that are lower than the executive that you've chosen, people that are around the executive that you've chosen, sort of like a neighbor search. So let's go down. Key information comes from the company details when you get down. So it's going to tell you the DUNS number, the employee ID number, the MSA code, the phone, the zip code, location type, as we talked about. It'll tell you subsidiary status, manufacturer or not, marketing pre-screen score, high, medium, low, marketing pre-screen ranking, 5, least likely to pay. That's a very important one. Company type, it'll say private or public, foreign trade, import export, plant facility size, it'll tell you, this place is humongous, does a lot of business, or, this place is a local business, a little smaller. Renter owns, employees, all sites, that'll show you, again, give you a sense of the size of the company. Employees at this site, most of the employees are at this site, it looks like. Year of founding, primary SIC code and primary NAICS code. So this one was a furniture store. This is actually helpful if you don't really want to look at all the SIC codes and you want to narrow it down to like just the main ones. This one will highlight which ones you want to keep your eye out for. Sales, another big one. That one's going to give you a lot of just general information so you can cut this company out. Like if you're looking for company details and this one is making way too many sales for you to think of it as a competitor for whatever you're looking for, you just go back to the search and you cut this one out of your details. So it's a good way to sort of narrow your list. Minority owned, no, but women owned, yes, because that was one of our search categories. Latitude, longitude, I mean, kind of mind-blowing. It tells you where this is located. And in the family search, there's 5 family members involved in this company. So that can sometimes be interesting, and it'll tell you, because it's a link, who those people are. So again, the helpful resources is going to be at the bottom in the help center with the guy with the little gear in his head, or up at the top left corner, you're going to have help guides, how-to videos, and business templates. Business templates is very helpful. It's got a lot of different stuff you might be looking for if you're a burgeoning business or if you're a beginning business, and what you can sort of gather from this site. And maybe if you don't have an idea of how you can use this information, but you have an idea that this would be helpful for you, that's where help guides, business templates, and how-to videos comes in. All right, so at this point, I want to thank you for paying attention to this. I hope I gave you some information that'll be helpful. And then I'm going to ask, I'm going to ask my coworker Celeste to come on. And her husband runs a business. So we're going to do an example search with her, just to go through everything we talked about and show you what comes up when you're doing an example search. So Celeste, would you like to join me?
Yes, absolutely. Hi, I was amazing. Thank you so much.
I'm so glad.
I didn't know anything. I feel like I heard before. I knew what it was about, but you went so much in detail. So it's amazing.
Yes. Okay. So why don't you tell us what your business would maybe use this for?
Absolutely. So I guess my husband is always thinking about what will be the ideal customer for our business. We kind of have like we know usually who is hiring him, but he would like to have a way more detail on that. So that's one of the things that.
Okay, so it sounds like he maybe would want to do marketing stuff. So like you could find the locations of different ideal customers, and you could send them a newsletter. You could put do some guerrilla marketing, put a flyer in their mailbox, that kind of thing. You could also make an ideal customer profile. This is a good way to narrow that information down and give him some ideas of other people he could look at to sort of use his services for. So exactly. Marketing is a huge one that you can benefit from.
Yeah, and I feel another one will be sometimes knowing a little bit better the competition. We actually, we see the business out there that they're like him, but we actually don't know. If someone asks him right now, okay, how many businesses are your competition? I'm pretty sure he doesn't have an idea. Like,
Yeah, and gathering that information is helpful to decide how much your goals are. So how much you think you should be making based on what they're making. Or you can see, oh, we're really successful compared to our competitors. Like we're doing well, that kind of thing. So I think that's a good place to start for your search. So let's go up into Mergent Intellect. I already signed in, but this is where you're going to find it on our website. You go to NHFPL. It'll load. We'll see. Well, you go to NHFPL, you'll see collections, business jobs, and nonprofit. And it'll always be here under its logo. You just click the logo, and again, the login is Haven, and the password is public. So that'll get you in. We're in right now. So let's do, Celeste, do you know your NAICS code, or do you know, do you think you should do, what kind of search do you think you would do given what I gave you out of these?
yeah,
searches?
so I'm thinking also that's a little bit maybe hard because the business is a little bit wider in terms of things that he does. Like he does lawn care and he does snow removal, but he also is a roofer. So we actually, I mean, we don't need to do everything right now. We can just focus maybe in just, I will say, lawn care companies around the town or between two towns.
Okay, so let's do a competitor versus consumer demographic and residential, because we know that comes up with a lot, but let's pretend that we're looking for competitors right now. So I would say go into advanced search. And we can limit it from there. So again, you can look up your company and what information comes up for your company, and then you can go to competitors list. Do you maybe want to do that and see what comes up? Or if it's private information, we can just do a general search. What do you think?
Okay. We can do the first one, it's fine, my company.
All right, let's try that actually. So let's go down. We want to do company name. What is the company name?
Okay, so it's Corujo Property Care.
Is it Corujo? Whoop. How do you spell it?
Yes. Sorry. Corujo, and then Property Care, and it's a LLC.
All right, let's see what comes up. We'll do a quick search, and then if it doesn't come up, this is where you would put this, and then you would put add to criteria. It looks like it's grayed out, so not really sure what's happening. The loading is a problem, but I guess we can just say that's where you would do the search. You would add to criteria, you would enter, and again, like we looked at before, the company profile would come up. Ooh, looks like it's loading. And this is important to know. You're going to be looking up your legal company name. So if you go marketing wise by like a certain name, but your legal company name is one thing under the LLC, that's what you're going to be putting in, because that's where this information is going to be sourced from. All right, sorry this is taking so long, but what kind of customer do you guys think you serve right now?
Okay, so I think we serve senior people, like people that, I mean, first of all, homeowners. That's kind of like the main thing, homeowners. And then secondly, a lot of people that is like senior, older, or sometimes professionals that they're like really busy working and they don't have the time to fix their houses or spend the time doing any
So
kind of
that's information you would be finding in lifestyle under consumer data, and you can actually lower it into searches that are very specific for that type of person. Since we're doing competitors and it finally loaded, we found your company. So one company found Corujo Property Care. We took out the LLC, and so I think that when you do the search, you don't have to keep that in. But let's say search. Once we click add to criteria, we did search at the bottom, and this is what comes up. So you're under the less than 1 million one. You're under sales. It'll tell you the SIC code that you were looking for. It'll tell you your main phone number, contact.
Oh, wow, that's my husband's number.
Isn't that funny? It comes up with a lot. So let's show what comes up under the actual, when you when you hover over it, it'll tell you your DNS company number, tell you your address and the phone. And when you come up here, this is what comes up for you. Let's say it doesn't have any competitor companies listed. So for that search, we're going to have to go back and do the regular search for under advanced, but it does have surrounding companies. So let's go into that. And it'll say all the companies that are surrounding your location. So let's go in and see what comes up under the list. So are you aware of any of these people or companies?
Okay, I didn't know about any company. Wow.
So yeah, there are ones that are like down private or single location, all this kind of stuff that's like around your section. So if you were doing a location search, this would be perfect. Like if you were downtown and you wanted to know all the small businesses that are in the same area as you, that's where this information would come up. So let's get a little creepier and show you the, no, it's not do financial details. Oh, it looks like it doesn't have, let's see. It doesn't have executive details. So I couldn't really find any information on your husband and the family tree, but sometimes it does. And you can get that in residential search too. So let's do a resident search and see if you come up. This is Celeste.
Okay, so I think you had to do my first name, which is Maria. Maria Tapia.
Maria
I
Tapia.
use my middle name. Yes. Yeah.
All right, let's see if you come up.
Oh, well,
Oh,
okay.
we have to do the state code. CT, wait. CT link. No. CT.
Connecticut? Okay.
What's your zip code in Wallingford?
06451. And Merida.
Oh, yeah. 06451.
451, yes.
Okay, let's search people, see if you come up. Look at this. So this is where people get really freaked out. You get your first name, last name. Maria, see, nothing comes up here. But are any of these addresses places you used to live?
I'm looking right now and no.
Okay, so there are 8 pages. So it might find a lot of different Maria Tapias.
Wow.
Let's do, sometimes it comes up with previous addresses, which really freaks people out because that's where they're getting all this public company, so or information for these people. So let's pretend, are any of these working?
Yeah, so the first one is
the first one.
Yes.
Okay, so let's click Maria. This is all it's going to tell you, but you can go to neighbors and it'll tell you who lives around you. So let's see, you have these neighbors. Do you know any of them?
I'm not a good neighbor.
Oh, that's funny. And it'll
like,
say, see more
anybody.
neighbors in this area. So look at how many people they come up with. So if you know someone a few roads over, you can click and hover, and it'll say Melody Ezekiel or all these people, and you can go into their information and get their phone numbers. So you can now call all your neighbors.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So this is the amount of information they have. So that's what you do in residential search. Let's go back to advanced search and do a competitor list search because that didn't come up under your company. So you might have to do a little more in-depth search to find your competitor list. Let's look at industry, location.
I mean, it's like you can just get like spend hours just doing different research.
You can do hours doing this. So what was your NAICS code? Do you know that off the top of your head, or do we want to do like a search?
Let's do a search because I don't have it on top of me.
Because you have a lot of NAICS codes and you have a lot of SIC codes. So let's see. What would your main part of your business, what would you be looking in out of these categories?
I'm looking if it's any construction. Yeah, number 23.
All right, so we can go
looks
down.
Like it has...
We can do construction of buildings, heavy and civil engineer construction, specialties trade contractors. Which of those 3 would we look in?
I would say the third one, specialty trade.
That's what I was thinking. So then it goes down from there, and you can do foundation, structure, and building exterior contractors. Does he do interior? Does he do other? finishing
Yeah, interior. Building equipment.
interior. So other trades.
Yes.
Site preparation, and you can just do all other specialty trade. But remember, adds criteria. When you select it, it does not add it to the criteria.
Okay.
So 0 companies found. City location NAICS code. Oh, that's because we have to take out your name of your company.
Okay.
So now the search down here, it'll say the NAICS code that you're looking for. We didn't even do it by city or location. So if you're looking here, you're getting a ridiculous amount of competitors.
So yeah, let's maybe narrow to location. Can we do that?
So let's do that. Yeah. Do you want to do location like New Haven County?
No, actually, can be smaller than that. Can be just 2 cities, 2 towns.
Perfect. All right. Let's do Meriden, Wallingford.
Yes.
Okay. So Meriden adds criteria. Wallingford.
Yeah.
Adds the criteria. And then to update this, you have to click search. So let's see.
Okay.
It comes up with all of this. So it looks like they found, oh no, you know what? They didn't update it. Hold on. It keeps doing this. Hold on. So we're going to location type.
I just have a question. Mergent Intellect is kind of similar to Reference USA.
Yes, that's something I was going to mention. So Reference USA is one the library used to use, and we changed over to Mergent Intellect, and it offers a lot of the same abilities. So if you're used to using Reference USA, this is the one I would suggest to go to.
Yeah, but I can see that the interface is so much better.
I was agreeing with that. Yeah, I mean, we really love it. That's why we selected it.
Yeah.
Let's do city. Let's do just Meriden.
Okay.
Add to criteria. And then it didn't add to the criteria. Hold on. Maybe you have to select all capitals. Yeah, there you go. Oh, weird. Exclude companies. Maybe it's Meriden, Connecticut. Oh, you know what? We didn't specifically say Connecticut. So let's see. State, region, Connecticut. That's criteria. It should show up. Here we go. It should show up there. Then let's do city, Meriden.
Okay, now I can see it went down so much, like to 4,000.
Yeah, to 4,000, exactly. I'm not sure why Meriden's not coming up. Let's try Wallingford. So click Wallingford, add to criteria, and it should come up under city. Not really sure why it's not doing that. Let's do just New Haven and see what your competition is going to be there. Is the city coming up? No. Let's click search and see if it updates. All right, so we can locate location from here as well to narrow it down. But it looks like your competition is going to be mainly less than 1 million, so we can get the rest of those out there. We can do really cool stuff from here. So we can do employee types, all sites. You can do, people that have less than 4 employees, 5 to 10 employees, 11 to 49. So are you looking around the 5 to 10?
I would say yes.
Okay, so let's click that. And as you go, it just narrows and narrows and narrows. Now we have 236. So let's do location. Most of these are a single location. So let's keep that as headquarters. You want to do that?
Remind me
single location.
Single location is fine.
Single location would mean that they don't have branches, so they're not as big of an operation.
So yeah, a single location.
Okay, so single location. Let's do
and I would say like we can also narrow by sales. Like I would say anything from 500 down. Like
awesome. Okay, so it's less than 1 million. Let's
because otherwise it's like already a bigger company.
Yeah.
We're probably not gonna be able to compete with that.
It looks like they're not letting you lower it by that.
Okay.
Lower it than less than 1 million. A lot of times these searches will let you do that if the search is bigger. So it looks like they're trying to give you as much information as possible, the 231, and you can locate it and lower it by clicking sales. So instead of having to look at like all the highest competitors, you can go, okay, let's start at 0 and up here. And then all of a sudden, okay, yours is around 125, that's someone you're going to want to look at. You hover over them, you go to their company, etc. And again, if you download all 231, it comes up in an Excel, and you can do it by sales and then just highlight and get rid of all the ones that make more or less than what you're looking for.
All right. This is great, actually. Like,
okay, yeah, this is, I mean, that's just an example search, and we didn't even get into everything. So I hope that was helpful, and I hope that was helpful to everyone watching. And you can always contact me or anyone on the I've Squared team who goes into the businesses. So me or my boss, Gina Bingham. This is my contact information. If you want any help with Mergent Intellect, we can do a business consultation, an hour appointment, and I can take you through like I did with Celeste, and we can do a search together. So any questions?
Thank you so much. I don't have any questions right now, but I'm probably gonna find some.
Okay, sounds great. We're gonna log off. Let's see. Thank you so much for coming. I hope this was helpful.
All right, thank you.
Okay.